Hey Taurus, welcome to June 2018. Welcome Phoenix, fellow Taurus. One thing I really want to talk to you guys about. So she's born May 16th. She's getting on to be a month old, and the one thing I've noticed the most about Taurus energy is how strong you guys are. That is the one thing I've absolutely noticed. So for 10 days, she was in the hospital. She was in um, the NICU, so like the baby intensive care unit, because of whatever. But for 10 days, all I kept hearing was nurses saying how strong she is. Every other baby with the IV and with the needles and stuff like that, they eventually after the third day they got used to it. Phoenix, the Taurus energy, every single, like literally she would get her medicine 3 times a day, and every single time she would fight so intensely for 10 days, 3 times a day, just fighting. So the Taurus energy, I just want to remind you guys of your basic energy, which is strong. You guys rule in the zodiac sign. You have the bull as your glyph. And that bull is all about strength, perseverance, and grounding energy. The bull, they'll dig their heels in before they charge, and that's all I've noticed with Phoenix so far, is just even to this day now, she will fight. She's so strong. The one thing I also want to acknowledge is, even though she is a fighter and Tauruses are fighters, the number one thing to recognize that a lot of the times you put up resistance and you put up this fight, but it is people just trying to help you and trying to heal you. And that's one thing I also noticed, that there were so many nurses that were, just really just trying to help her, and she was just so stubborn with her fighting. So really maybe taking a step back and saying, okay, who is it in my life that I'm putting up so much resistance, who I'm fighting, when they're really just trying to help me in the long run. And it might not be an easy thing to acknowledge. You don't need to tell them. You don't need to talk to them about it. You can just acknowledge it within yourself. Be like, okay, you know what? I'm done with this resistance. I'm done fighting. I'm done having to be so strong. I just want to let go. And that's one thing I feel like I'm always telling Phoenix. Just let go. Like, I don't know what happened in her past life, but she fights not to sleep. She fights to eat. She fights to not be confined. So maybe just using Phoenix as an example of Taurus energy, a new Taurus in your tribe. You guys are very strong, very, very strong, and it's acknowledged. But sometimes people really are there to help you and to heal you. And if you don't fight it and don't put up those resistance, you'll heal a lot faster, and it'll be more helpful. Okay, that's all I had to mention. To my Tauruses, love you guys so much. Let's get started on our reading for June 2018. Really quickly, I want to talk about June 13th. We have a Gemini new moon. So Gemini new moon is bringing in a lot of energy when it comes to siblings, when it comes to our immediate environment, when it comes to, so our immediate environment is literally like our home, not so much our home, but the surroundings around us. Also our short distance travel, our communication, like we're really going to want to talk a lot more. We're going to want to find people in our tribe who is more like-minded. We're going to be obsessed with trying to gain more information and new knowledge. So the news is going to be something that's a little bit more attractive to you right now. But that June 13th new moon is all about bringing in energy, positive energy, and harvesting and planting the seeds when it comes to those Gemini themes and the third house themes. So the first step to acknowledge, Taurus, is that you have a lot of support when it comes to home and family. And like I said, this June 13th new moon is going to bring up issues surrounding your siblings, brothers and sisters, and also not necessarily just your siblings, but also the people that you've had since childhood. So the people who are like siblings to you. And just bringing up the recognition that you actually have a lot of support when it comes from them. June 28th, we have the Capricorn full moon. So the Capricorn full moon will be bringing up issues surrounding our career, our profession, our ambitions, our public image as well, our reputation, and our authority. Okay, nice. So we have the World card as well. So really realizing that you have a lot of support that is there for you, that wants to give you positivity, that wants to give you endless optimism and energy, as long as that's what you're focused on. When you're only focused on the negative and the negativity that people naturally have, that's just going to be magnified. So the Capricorn full moon will allow you to release anything surrounding your career and your ambition, and also that authority. So when you were a child, that authority within the household, whether that be your father or maybe your mom took on that role or just a father figure, and using that energy to clear anything that is no longer serving you. Okay, so writing down 10 things surrounding those areas of your life, and then releasing them with the full moon. Okay, Taurus, June 2018. So new money just tried to pop out and it went back in. Sorry, let's see if it comes out. Taurus, June. So the main thing that your subconscious wants you to know right now, Taurus, is that you have a lot of support from your family and friends, and that's because of you as the guardian. The Taurus is the guardian of the zodiac. So you've put in the time. You've put in the time of being that support system for other people, and now you're starting to see it coming back if you're there to look for it, if you're there to acknowledge it as well. And that's going to give you a lot of positivity because right now your reputation is the main focus of June 2018. Your reputation, how you feel about yourself, how you feel inward. And a lot of the times, our self-esteem and our values is based on how other people view us. You know, it's based on, especially this year in a 2018 year, which is all about relationships. It's really going to show us where people are at when it comes to their love for us, where they're not at. You know, like things are going to happen this year, and I'm sure they've already happened, which has really tested your spirituality, and it's also brought up your relationships. For instance, I'm just saying, not judging, but with everything in the hospital with Phoenix, you really start to see who was there for us and who wasn't there. And it was a hard pill to swallow. Hard pill where you're like, I thought for sure that person would have at least sent a text or whatever. And it really starts to affect your self-esteem. And it really starts to affect your values and your beliefs about people because it's things that you would never do. As a guardian, Taurus would be there, you know? So things like that, your reputation is being brought to the forefront, how you feel about yourself, how you view yourself, and really a focus on trying to change that into the most positive perspective, okay? You've been doing a lot of rest, and with that rest within the home and family, you've been manifesting a lot. Sure enough, new power. It's here, new power, new money, it is here. It's just figuring out how to grab it, how to really own it. It's flying around in the air, and it's really just how do you catch it? Because right now you're really stumbling and really trying to figure out, you know, where your power is and where your investments are, and you really want to get to this place of a masculine sort of like a masculine type dominance, financial dominance especially, and feminine, really owning both coins, both sides of the coin. But you have a lot of opportunities and you just don't know where they're heading, okay? So it is time to maybe possibly take a risk. Once you do, that will create some changes, some opportunities to move on and build yourself back up, okay? So the main theme of this reading, Taurus, for June 2018, is your reputation, how you feel about yourself, getting more positive about how you feel about yourself. You've done a lot of rest at home. You've really done a lot of rest with the family as well. It is time to start manifesting some new power because there is some emotional confusion over your power right now and your financial stability. You've invested a lot, but you really want to get to a point of both sides of the coin of financial security. You know, the masculine and the feminine side, really recognizing that you have a lot of opportunities, but not knowing how to capture them because you want to make sure that you still have that emotional stability before you take any risk, because you know that if you were to take a risk, it would create a sense of change and you would have to move on from something, which as a Taurus, a fixed sign, is not necessarily something that you're overzealous and over eager to do, because change is hard for a Taurus, depending on what other aspects you have in your chart. But if you have a lot of earth sign, or if you're somebody who's a little bit more grounded than other Tauruses, you're going to find that the change is a hard thing to capture. So that's the theme. New feelings have emerged, Taurus. New feelings that are incredibly pure. And those feelings you're going to really start to see with the full moon. You're really going to start to see how those new feelings are affecting your life with this full moon on June 28th, okay? Because it's going to be like a bell ringing in your ear where you're like, wow, I really don't feel the same way I felt, especially when it comes to those Capricorn energies, which, like I said, is your career, your profession, your ambition, your public image, your authority or lack thereof, and your reputation. Okay? New feelings are stemming. Subconsciously, you're working off a broken heart. Subconsciously, those new feelings are stemming from a broken heart too. And you are thinking about work constantly, really thinking about work and your power there. Okay, Page of Cups is involved when it comes to these new feelings. So this young water type sign, you actually have a family who's incredibly supportive, especially financially. So it might be time to kind of, I want to say, like, cash in your chips when it comes to family. Just recognizing that, hey, you've been that support system for so long. And maybe now you've been working so hard and you're very, you're proud of what you've been working so hard for. But maybe it's time to actually get back what you've given to your family and friends. For instance, I have a Taurus mother-in-law, and we start to see even within the present, we're like, well, let's give her something a little bit more that she can really use, and it shows a way of saying, hey, we care about you, because Tauruses rule the second house of possessions, and collections and money. So really just getting that amazing gift from somebody that you care about will kind of show a Taurus, especially if you're reading if you're watching this for a Taurus, it'll show them that level of appreciation, because your family and friends, they can afford it, but they are really focused on the past right now. So if you do feel like you're fighting a lot with your family and friends, and struggling with it, it is time to kind of take the boxing gloves off. It's time to kind of just relax there, okay? Because family is really empowered right now, and they're really just kind of seeing like a little bit of greed here, a little bit of focus on your finances, a little too much, and that's why family and friends is creating some power struggles and some fighting. Hope and fear, Taurus, you want to have some fun. You want to enjoy yourself, especially emotionally, but you fear it. So you have to tap into that. Probably because you're working off a broken heart. Probably because you have these new feelings coming up. But you want to have some fun. So get out there and do it. Last card, Taurus. So the first step is to recognize that you have been working really hard. And then you will start to realize that you are moving on from something emotionally. And that will create this ability to give and to get more of a balance. Because as I was saying before, as the guardian, you've been putting a lot of support out, a lot of power out, and it just wasn't balanced. It wasn't equalized. And now you're going to start to see with the new moon and the full moon just how much you've put out, and you're starting to realize new feelings, and new shifts happening where you work so hard and you're done because you're heartbroken. You're ready to move on. You're ready to say, hey, I've worked so hard. I've supported you guys. I've been the guardian. I want to create some positive shifts in my life. I want to look at my own reputation and my own self, my own inward self, as something to be proud of. Yeah, so that's what's going on for you guys for June. Love you, Taurus, so much. As always, if you want a personalized reading, please feel free to send me an email. My email address is below. All my personalized readings include a astrology and numerology personality analysis with a tarot read. And please like, comment, or subscribe. And Phoenix says hi, sort of. Love you guys so much, and I will see you in July. Bye, Taurus.